I'm Liam Duffy, I'm 21 and I'm a psychology student. I first kind of realised that I had some form of mental health issue when I was about 10 or 11, and that's just when I'm starting to go to high school and I'm feeling a bit anxious about it, but you don't really understand that that could affect you. So that when you get to high school and all these feelings start popping up, you're just like, I don't know what they are these normal? And then I was bullied for quite a long time. So during school, I barely talked to anyone, and I was quite hunched over and stuff like that, but I could see other people and they were happy and they were laughing, and that just wasn't what I was experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And I didn't even really know about depression at the time. It's something that is talked about in the news, but you don't really think it's ever going to happen. Because everyone thinks that they're just like, oh, that's fine, but it's not going to happen to me. It's just not. But it does, it happens to so many people more than anyone's going to know. I don't think that we, as in me and my parents, really knew what it was or kind of put a name on it. We just knew that there was something not quite right. Because of that, I knew I needed to take steps for myself first before going to any kind of therapy. At college, when I began to look for universities, the depression started to subside and everything was looking peachy. And then, unfortunately, a week before I actually started university in Liverpool, my dad suffered a stroke. He suffered 2 strokes. He had one, and then while he was in hospital he had another. And that came out of the blue completely and shook everything up. So I didn't know what was going to happen with me if I had to drop out of university, if I could still go at all. Unfortunately, my dad's now paralysed on one side of his body, and for 2 years I helped to care for him, and that puts a massive strain on you mentally, especially when you're just coming into university as well, because that itself is just a massive step for anyone. So I've started the first week of university, my dad's still in hospital, my mum's trying to cope with what she can, and my brother's doing the same. And we go into one of the first lectures on like neuropsychology, something like that, and it's about strokes, which, you know, being quite a raw subject at the time for me, really didn't help, and it broke me down because I had to think about what a stroke does, but without thinking about my dad. So because I went straight from basically having freedom in the sense of I can go to university and do anything and everything's fine, and my dad having what he had, it's almost as if a childhood was taken quite quick, in that I had to grow up and I had to be almost like a man of the house because my dad couldn't be there. Obviously through no fault of his own, but it was hard. It was really hard. And it's just like, keep on asking why until you get down to a source. And once you get down to that source, then you can kind of realise this is the main thing that's making me anxious about so many other things. So it's just really delving down. We use like tree roots. So you start at the leaf, you go to the branch, you go to the trunk, and you end up at the root. People out there will be suffering. So if anyone out there at the minute is feeling any ounce of depression, any ounce of anxiety, there are 8 billion people on this planet. There is at least one person out there that feels the exact same way that you do. So you're never ever going to be alone.